Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review. I'm looking at this, the Taylormade M2 Hybrid from 2017. Now, if you know your Taylormade clubs, you will know that this isn't the first time that Taylormade had released the M2. So they actually released the M2 in 2016. It was so popular in 2017 they thought, oh, we're going to revamp it a little bit and then re-release the clubs, which they did. So I got the 2017 version, not the 2016 version. The reason I'm reviewing it for you today is basically I managed to pick this up for under 50 quid on eBay. You know, so what's that? That was $60, $70. So I thought that's such a good price. You know, let's do a review on this club because potentially you could save yourself a lot of money by getting one of these over the brand new Qi10 or even the brand new, I think it's Qi35 that's coming out next year. So, yeah. Potentially this could be an absolute bargain. So that's why I picked it up. I'm going to do the normal review, have a closer look at it, come back here, go through all the technology in the club, then we're going to get down to the range, going to throw some figures at you, go through the ACS Golf Scale, going to discuss its performance against my current game, which is the Qi10 3 Hybrid. And then we'll come to a little conclusion if this is possibly the best bargain out there when it comes down to hybrids. Alright guys, as always, let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go, and I actually quite like the look of it. You know, they kept the whole sort of pattern of the M range. We had a black here and white there with the hybrids, as they did with all the other woods. You know, kept that sort of colour scheme going through it. I think it's quite a good looking hybrid. I actually prefer the look of this hybrid than the original M2 2017 driver. I'm not a fan of the looks of the M2 2017 driver. I think the M2 2016 driver looks amazing, but the the 2017 M2 driver looks a bit weird on the bottom. So, but the M2 hybrid I think looks really good. And surprisingly, well, not surprisingly actually, if you compare it, I can try and show you there compared to the Qi10, there's really not that much of a difference. Get it off there. It really isn't, to be honest. They are pretty much identical. I think the Qi10's a little bit fatter on the back, but you know, they've got the same sort of technology, same sort of faces. Believe me, if you have a proper look between both of them, they look pretty much exactly the same. You can see the speed slots, etc. Just shows you how much technology hasn't improved. Well, not improved, but you know, hasn't progressed over the past, what's 2017? So, 7 years, 8 years? Again, why are you spending £200 then? $200 on a brand new hybrid when you get one of these? Anyway. We'll make that decision at the end of this video. Now let's go through the technology that's in this club. So the 2017 M2 Hybrid features the iconic two-tone crown, there you go, of the M Metalwoods family, and a new innovative performance technologies, creating a versatile rescue club with exceptional sound and feel. The sole of the club houses a longer and more flexible speed pocket. So there you go. There is the speed pocket. Go on to the Qi10. There is the speed pocket. So, you know, still there, the technology. Which offers speed and forgiveness on low face strikes. That's the whole point of the speed pocket. A lot of brands have that sort of speed pocket technology, but they call it, you know, other things nowadays for those low strikes, especially when you're looking at fairways and hybrids, because obviously you're coming down onto the ground. You know, a lot of sort of players who are probably using these clubs, I mean, I use hybrid myself, you know, you're going to be hitting it low on the face. You're not necessarily going to be hitting it there unless it's off the tee, because you are sweeping the ground with it. So that's why they want that forgiveness at the bottom of the club. The geoacoustic technology, which is here, there you go, little bars there around the side, further improves the club's performance through advanced geometry and sound engineering. The new sole design and a short fluted hosel also work in tandem to optimize sound and feel impact while lowering the CG, so lowering the centre of gravity, you know, to help with performance and help with that ball speed. So there you go. So just a brief, a little bit of technology in there. Things that you don't find in this, which you find in this, is obviously the twist face technology. You could say the innovative bit they have on the back here as well, what they got in the sim, you find in this. Pretty sure this isn't carbon fibre though. I'm pretty sure, like this, it is a whole titanium bit. I'm not 100% sure that's it. Don't hold me to that. I haven't actually done a review of that Qi10 yet, so wait for a couple of weeks and you'll get that one. But yeah, so really not that much has changed from this to the Qi10 technology-wise, apart from maybe that twist-face technology there. And I'm sure if you speak to a boss, he'll be like, well, you know, the face is slightly thicker, you know, and all this sort of stuff, which I'm assuming, you know, they probably have changed as they've gone along. But overall, the basics are still there in the Qi10 that were, well, basically formed in this M2. So there you go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get down to the range. I'm going to throw some figures at you, and then we're going to come back here for the ACS golf scale. All right, see you in a bit.
Here I'm down at the range on another cold winter's day. Now, normally with a 3 hybrid, I'm sort of looking at sort of total distance around 215 yards and sort of carry close to that 200 mark. Now, with this club, I was going to carry over 190. Total distance 207 yards, ball speed 131 miles per hour, launch angle 15 and height 64, which is very much what I'd expect really from this type of club, well, from this hybrid in this weather, to be honest. You know, if it actually hit the 215 mark that I normally get in summer, I'd be quite shocked, because obviously the ball doesn't travel as far when the weather's this cold. What I thought about the club was, you know, it's very easy to hit, very good to get up in the air. Did tend to push it a little bit right on a few shots, if you've seen on this video, because, well, that flexible shaft meant I couldn't quite control as much as I wanted to, but on the odd shot I was able to push it left again. And when I took it down the range another day as well, you know, I was managed to get that high baby draw. So really easy club to hit, which you want from a hybrid. You know, the whole point of it is a rescue club. It's easy to hit and it's there to make your golf better. So yeah, here's the figures in a table for you. So yes, the average 190 yards carry, you know, 207 yards distance, not bad for this time of year. And when I got used to that sort of whippy shaft, you know, I managed to actually really push this to get to the average that I'd have in summer, which I was really impressed with. You know, the longest on the day, you know, 204 yards carry, 215 yards total distance. I'm really happy with that. And then the shortest, you know, all right, it was under 200 yards total distance. It was a really, really bad hit. So 173 yards carry, 193 yards total distance, and straight, which it was, I'd take any day of the week while playing in the winter. So overall, very good numbers.
So there you go. Not bad results at all, especially the fact we're in winter. So it's not going to go as far as normal. So normally with a hybrid, I'm looking at sort of around 215. So yes, 207 was a little bit short, but we're also battling a regular shaft, which is, you know, so one thing I will say about older clubs is the shaft's a little bit different. So maybe this was a little bit too whippy. I did actually take it down the range a couple of times actually. In the first time, it was just pushing it right because of the shaft. It sorted out the tempo the next time and really did nail it. So yeah, so not bad at all. Even like when I really went for it and managed to get the tempo right, you know, 204 carry, 215, you know, ball speed 135 miles per hour, launch angle 15, height 87 feet. This thing flew. When I caught it right, it flew. When I got everything right with the swing and everything, it was massive. It was really, really impressive, to be fair. You know, this is no slouch at all. And I'll compare it a little bit to the Qi10 in a second. But yeah, really, really happy with those numbers. To be honest, I could put this in the bag. Even though it's a regular shaft, I could put this in the bag over the Qi10 and be extremely happy with it. But we'll delve into more of that in a second. So let's get into the ACS golf scale. So we've got distance, looks, feel, price, and forgiveness. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. First things first, distance. I've been at 4.5 out of 5. It's there. It's really there. It's one of, you know, I think on the days I was hitting it, I don't think I could have got much longer from anything else. Maybe the Qi10, what I mentioned in a second, you know, definitely the Sim Max one, that was a beast from 2020. I think that definitely would have given me a little bit more distance. But, you know, if I maybe had a stiff in this, maybe even got even more distance from this. So really happy with those numbers, to be fair. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5. This thing is an absolute beast, as you'd expect from a Taylormade hybrid. They're all mammoths. which can lead to issues with gapping, but generally, you know, really happy. Moving on to feel. Feel 3.5 out of 5, you know, felt really powerful, really explosive off the face. Couldn't necessarily tell where my misses were though, unless they were really, really bad misses, and then I knew. But yeah, you know, really happy with the feel, 3.5 out of 5. Not the softest or not the best feeling I've ever felt, but TaylorMade for me never are. You know, I'm more of a Mizuno Titleist when it comes down to fit, and Cobra when it comes down to feel. You know, they're my sort of favourite feeling clubs. So TaylorMade have always been a little bit down personally for me. Some of you guys out there might actually love them, but yeah, felt really powerful and really explosive. Very happy with that. Yes, on to one thing I mentioned as well before I get on to looks. Workability with this, excellent for a hybrid. You know, you could launch it high, you can launch it low. You know, for that absolute monster, you know, when I launch at 15, high 87, really happy with that. You know, can move it left, can move it right, as I mentioned, because I wouldn't quite reach the shaft, or going that way, and then sort of managed to work it that it came back to that draw. So a lot of workability in there. Obviously, you're not going to get this isn't as workable as your sort of more professional, you know, hybrids nowadays, sort of like, for example, your Stealth 2 Plus, you know, these really small head hybrids out there, which are very much like your long iron sort of thing, just with a little bit more forgiveness. Not as workable as that, but for a hybrid, it definitely is very workable. So yeah, not bad at all. Good turf interaction as well, I found. Going on to looks, I like it. 4 out of 5. I do like the top, classic the M look. You know, really cool. I like the M2. I like the colouring. Not too sure about that sort of panel on the side. I know they've done it for technology-wise and stuff. I feel like maybe if they hid that, it would have been a bit nicer. So, yeah, 4 out of 5 though. Happy with that. Going on to forgiveness. I mean, yes, all right. The shortest on the day was 193 yards. So, you know, quite a drop down from, you know, the average of 207 and the longest 215. But that was such a bad strike. It was horrible. Right off the toes. You know, I tend to do if I'm cold and it's winter. I tend to, the club, even though if you watch me hitting a ball, the club really comes close to my body anyway, but comes even closer to my body, and I really struggle to get around as all the rugby injury start coming out. But yeah, so that's my miss there. But the main thing about it is, came up high draw and went straight down the middle. As you saw, you know, 17 degrees launch there, you know, high 55, just didn't quite have the ball speed to keep it in the air, only 124. But it, you know, draw straight and it's on the fairway. And I'll take that. You know, majority of the times when I'm hitting a hybrid, it's maybe on a long, unless I really have to, you know, I'm not necessarily aiming for the green with it because I'm not going to necessarily get it stopping on the green. It's more a recovery club. So if I did something like that, I'm probably in trouble hitting a hybrid, and that's why I'm hitting it. And so if it gets me back on the fairway and I'm 10 yards shorter than I would be, that's, you know, maybe a little bit longer of a chip, or, you know, maybe another wedge up or something like that, but I'd be really happy with it. So 4 out of 5 when it comes down to forgiveness. Plenty of forgiveness in this club, believe me, for a hybrid. So yes, is it the most forgiving hybrid? No. It's not like a ping, or, you know, you're getting to get some really big chunky hybrids. No, it's not. But forgiveness levels are really good, especially on that lower hit because of the speed pocket. You know, hybrids haven't changed for that many years. You know, since Adams really came out, like sort of 2013, 2014. They've all been sort of relatively simple. So, you know, you can pick one of these up and still have really good distance, really good forgiveness. So yeah, awesome. Now on to price. Price, I've given it a 5 out of 10. You know, I just mentioned it's got distance of 4.5. You know, looks 4, feel 3.5 only because that's my sort of reaction to feel. You guys might actually love it. You know, and then it's got forgiveness of 4 out of 5. I mean, that is insane. That's perfect. That's awesome. You know, so for price, why giving it 5 out of 5? You know, if you go to golf clubs and cash, you can pick it up for like sort of £68 starting, which is sort of £85, not the end of the world. eBay, I've seen these go for like £31.99, which is around $40, £40, $50. So these are all 3 hybrids like this one that I tested. And I've seen a brand new one go for under £80, so under $100, brand new, never used. You know, 4 hybrid, £50, you know, $65. That's a bargain when you're spending 150 plus on this second hand at the moment. And then also, you know, if you're looking brand new, you're spending 250. is an absolute bargain. The performance you get in these older sort of tailor-made hybrids, just the same as the new ones. You know, if someone said to me right now, what's the best hybrid you've ever tried? I wouldn't say this, but I would say Taylormade Sim Max. That thing was awesome. First hybrid that Rory McIlroy ever put into his bag. It was incredible. You know, they've really been making great hybrids for years, so you can save yourself some money and get one of these. The only issue is because they are hybrid, because they're so good, lots of people have been using them lots, so it's difficult to pick one up in a good shape. So, you know, you can pick one up and maybe the shaft might break. So, and you know, the head might be really worn down, which could affect the spin levels and stuff like that. So it is difficult to get one that's really good shape, but when you do, and it's £50, snap it up. You won't be disappointed. So there you go. Awesome, awesome, awesome club, as I'd expect from TaylorMade when it comes down to hybrids. Now, comparing it to my Qi10. So, Qi10, both three hybrids, both 19 degrees. A little bit of an unfair test. I've got a stiff venter shaft in this, and this is just a regular shaft. But when it comes down to distance, first day the Qi10 won it by 3 yards, so the longest was 218 yards to this 215. The second day wasn't hitting this well, and it was actually only 212 yards. It was shorter than the longest on this 215. You know, I didn't hit that many balls with it, to be fair, but you can see there's not that much in it. Don't get me wrong. Do I think the Qi10 is going to be a bit longer than this with this makeup and this shaft? Yes, I do. Do I think the Qi10 has a little bit more forgiveness in it than the M2? Yes, I do. Do I think the Qi10 is £100 more worth it? No, I do not. I don't. I would quite happily, to be honest, if I went on the golf course and I had that in the bag over this with the same shaft in it, I wouldn't notice the performance difference. I definitely wouldn't. You know, when you're at the range, it's very easy to know the performance difference. You're like, oh, there's 2 yards here, there's 3 yards here. On the golf course, I wouldn't. You know, I'd be just as happy with this as I am with this club. So there you go. So there's a little sort of check off against the Qi10 there. You know, you don't need to go brand new to get really good clubs, guys. That's the whole point about the channel. Even though I do new club reviews quite a bit, actually, I've done quite a few this year, surprisingly. But like some of the old stuff is still absolute golden, and this is a prime example of that. Alright guys, now I hope you enjoyed this review of the Taylormade M2 from 2017, not 2016. If you did, do give it a like. Remember to subscribe to the channel as well for weekly ACS golf reviews. And also comment down below, you know, do you use Taylormade hybrids? You know, if you do, which one do you use and what have you thought about them? You know, I've tried a few over the years now, and I've got to say, every single time I pick one up, well, definitely from the M range anyway, I'm always seriously impressed. Alright guys, I'll see you soon for the next ACS golf video. See you then. Bye bye.